Good morning.
Put on a happy face. Good morning.
So go ahead.
Good morning. I don't know the rest. To you and you and you. Oh, my chair's not in the right spot.
Uh-oh. Well, we're about to find out. Good morning. Welcome to Brian and Carrie in the morning. Today's show, Invest to Harvest, the forgotten ingredient to achieving your goals, no matter what they are, or how many times you've tried and failed. Invest to Harvest is a mainstay. It's a bedrock. It's a foundation, and yet it's a forgotten ingredient.
And you know what?
So we're going to talk about that today.
And you know what? You don't even know what angle we're coming at this from yet.
Right.
Because we put up a little post announcing what the show was this morning.
Yes.
And everybody's like, yeah, I invest, in finances and stuff like that. But I'm telling you right now, this is a different angle.
Different
You're not
stuff.
familiar with. Good morning, everybody.
Yes, Aaron Johnson, Chris Goldowski, Lynette Macias, Mama Drops, Connie Blankenship. Dig all these people.
Good morning, everybody.
Oh, lordy, Kelly Goldowski's in the house. Bag of brains.
This is one of those weird things. I feel like we've been here every Monday for the last several Mondays.
Yeah.
And yet this feels like a different Monday.
Does it?
I feel for me so on our side of the ledger, we have, this is officially the first week that the kids have a bus.
Yes.
The morning went boom, 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 boom.
Everybody's at school.
So I feel like this is the start of something today.
And it's spring-like here.
If I'm not mistaken, last week, our show, we had to push from a Monday to the... We have to put it from the morning to the evening because we hit that road work on the way home with the kids.
Right.
That wasn't last Monday. That was 2 Mondays ago. But anyway.
You got the point. Karen, Robert, Steve Montefinesse, Tiffany Maxim, Lee. I like Lee. Lee's awesome.
I love Lovely. I love the way that you have
yes,
that.
Lisa Arsenault, Papa Drops.
I'm having a broad
And are we pronouncing it right?
Yoli.
Yoli? Yoli or Yoli?
Is it Yoli?
Or Yoli?
Who's right, Brian or Carrie?
I'm not picking a side.
No, but I meant who's pronouncing it right. Just so, because otherwise, how did you write it down?
Mona's here. Sackwitz is definitely here.
Look at this. Everybody's chiming in and saying, hey, how are you? Can I ask a question?
It's Yoli. Yoli. I like that. That's awesome. Yoli, where are you in the world again? Could you remind us?
Yeah, I want to know. I want to know a question. I have a question. Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
I would like to know how many of you on the weekend find yourself missing the crew?
Well, me.
Yeah, me too, because right now I feel like I haven't seen everybody for a while.
Right? Michelle Adams is here. Dig her. Michael Hedke, Dana Powell. I keep saying Chris Goldowski's name, but it's because he keeps chiming in, which is awesome.
Chris Goldowski's in the house. And
Michael Hedke's back, he said.
I don't know if Michael Hedke was here the other day when we wished him a happy birthday. Was he?
I don't think so.
I don't think you were, because we wished you a happy birthday a day late. And I don't know if you saw the show or not, but we gave you a shout out. So a belated happy birthday to you.
We did. Billy Reuter's here, and then Sakowitz, Kelly Goldowski, Steve Montefinesse, Papa Drap, Cecily, everyone's chiming in. They missed the crew. And I think what Michael Hedke wrote there is Spanish. And
yes.
Probably means that he missed the crew so much.
I think that's an everyday. Is that what it means, Michael? It means an everyday you miss them.
Right. Oh, he's been sick. That's what he said.
Oh, yeah. I knew that.
Good morning, Caitlin. Guys, again, today's show, Invest to Harvest, the forgotten ingredient to achieving your goals. And like Carrie said, this angle that we're coming at you today from...
Yep, that was right. Coming at you from...
a little different. Chris Goldowski might be sad. I'm actually not going to talk about finance.
Well, maybe we'll talk about finance.
I always talk about finance because I'm a nerd. I love that shit. I think it's awesome.
In some way, shape, or form.
It's like winning the long-term lottery.
Sorry.
No, but it is.
No, I'm not even laughing at what you're saying. Sorry.
Okay, but no, listen. Okay, so we have friends. No joke, okay? And they're in their 60s now.
Yeah.
And they have been buying lottery tickets.
Yeah.
For about 35 years.
Of course, right?
And spending on average $100 to $200 a month on lottery tickets for 35 years. Okay, now, how much have they won? Well, $1,000 here and there.
A couple bucks here and there.
Right? It's not been a massive windfall.
Yeah.
$200 a month times 35 years is a lot of ducats. There's a lot of po-po in there. There's a ton of cashola.
A lot of po-po.
Yeah, right? That's my street lingo. But the point is, if they had just invested that money in quality stocks. Not even like trying to play the odds of a tech stock that's going to hit a bubble. I just mean like buy Coca-Cola stocks.
Right.
Because it's going to go up. Mm-hmm. For 35 years, they'd be sitting on $250,000 right now.
I agree.
Invest to harvest. But we're not going to talk about finance today.
No,
oh,
no. Can I
Oh no.
I have a couple things to say.
Wait, Caitlin says the picture of us earlier was epic. I didn't see that picture.
You didn't even see it because I posted it. It was a picture from Arizona. Yeah. Caitlin, are you referring to the picture where we're flexing? I put a picture of us flexing in Arizona.
I was flexing?
It was maybe it was Liverpool. I don't know. We traveled a lot last year. I'm not sure where it was. Number one, I'm having a bra dysfunction over here, so I apologize for that.
Me too.
But I also want to say, so who was here for the show that we were talking about ghosts? Okay, so if you were here last week on the show that we were talking about ghosts, I have a little story to tell you. I am not afraid of ghosts. I'm not afraid of ghosts. But apparently, when I have a nightmare in the middle of the night, and so let me tell the whole story. So was it Saturday night or Sunday night? Saturday night.
Saturday night, yeah.
So Saturday night, we go to bed, we're in sleep. We had dinner with our friends,
Scott and Jamie, who were part of the crew.
And Sean and Donna. So Sean, who you know is our real estate agent extraordinaire.
Awesome.
And I had this dream that Sean was telling me these stories about the ghosts in this house. And the reason this house hasn't sold yet is because of ghosts. Okay? So this is like at 3 o'clock.
I don't like that topic.
3 o'clock in the morning, right? So I usually go back to sleep after a nightmare. But at 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm like lying in bed scared shitless. And I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to wake him up.
I want to hear the rest of the story because I was awake. So I'm curious how accurate this is going to be.
So I would normally not wake up Brian because I get guilty, right? So he's like lying with his back to me and I start just kind of rubbing him casually like this, hoping that he'll like turn over and like cuddle with me, right? But then he doesn't, he just kind of goes,
because I was awake
that, right?
and I was like, shit, that feels good.
So then I turned from this to like this.
Yeah, it was poking. She was like...
And then he turns over and then he couldn't go back to sleep, so we were both awake. It was just so funny, and I'm not afraid of ghosts, but apparently I am.
Carrie did go back to sleep eventually. She went and slept in Chase's room, because when I get woken up at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, the odds of me going back to sleep are pretty nil. And that's fine. I really don't care. I'll sleep when I'm dead.
Which is why I don't normally wake him up.
Right, exactly. And that, bless you for that, but I don't really care that much. So I went to the living room and read and kind of tooled around a little bit. And our son's bedroom is right beside the living room, so Carrie ended up nestling in there until like 9 o'clock. It was sweet.
It was horrible.
It was sweet.
And somehow I blamed Sean, even though he was in my dream. It wasn't real.
Sean Hummel's fault. By the way, Brian Sakowicz, your son was impressed with the deadlift video. Mine? The rack pull?
Yeah, your rack pull.
Well, thanks. Thank your son.
It's a lot of freaking weight, isn't it?
Right?
675, was that what it was?
600, yeah. It's not, and I will do 765 by the summer.
That's a lot of weight. That's like a lot of weight.
I felt good. Today's show, Invest to Harvest, the forgotten ingredient to achieving your goals, and you know us by now. We are going to earn your share today. So if you could please put a share out into the world right now. And if you have, do it 3 or 4 more times. This is like Chicago in the 1920s. Vote often. Do you get that joke?
I don't get the reference.
It's a political thing. In Chicago, the standing joke was vote early, vote often, because they basically did illegal voting. So like you would vote 6 times in one day.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
You'd have to vote.
So share this show at least 6 times today. That's the key.
6 times minimum. There you go.
Yes.
Did everybody have a great weekend? Chime in and just tell us how your weekend was as we're getting rolling here. I'm curious to know.
I agree. Thank you. Oh, look, Carrie's here.
I know that Steve Montefinez had a great weekend because it was his birthday, number 1.
Yes, 51st.
And if I am not mistaken, Steve got some new ink for his birthday.
Oh, you got to get ink.
An awesome dragon tattoo, if I'm not mistaken.
Look at that. So, first of all, Carrie's here.
Hi, Carrie.
What's up, Carrie? She shared it.
Big
Chandra,
hugs.
good morning. Caitlin shared it. Al Capone is the one who started that vote early, vote often thing. But I'm going to tell you something. In Chicago, that's true, but it predates Chicago into New York and the Tammany Hall years.
Here we go, stuff I don't know. I don't even know what that means.
Tammany Hall was like the political infestation of New York City. This is back in the Civil War. Wow. And they would take the Irish coming off the boat and they would essentially make them go vote, give them a gun to go fight in the Civil War, and then before they left for that, they'd take them vote again.
Pretty cool.
Welcome to History Hour with Brian and Carrie in the morning.
I would like to say,
yes,
Chandra.
Times 6.
Chandra, you just ruined my big celebratory announcement because I was going to wish you congratulations. I saw that your soccer team won the tournament this weekend.
Right on.
So I was going to be like, and a shout out to Chandra, whose team won the soccer championship. But then you wrote it before I got to say it.
I'm going to start the show in 1 second. Yoli had a bloody brilliant weekend.
Nice.
Brian Sackowitz had an awesome weekend. Lee Patterson has shared us now 6 times. Appreciate that. Michelle Lee says good morning. Carol Wood did her TikTok all weekend.
She's not the only one.
Good on you. And look at Chris Goldowski knowing what I'm putting down. The 5 points area with the immigrants with Tammany Hall. That's exactly right.
I wish I knew what you were talking about. I wish I knew.
Chris Goldowski and I are officially the biggest nerds on the planet. We have common interests.
You and Chris Goldowski should go sit at a bar with Cliff Clavin.
Me and Chris Goldowski are Cliff Clavin.
In the best possible way.
The way more attractive versions of Cliff Clavin.
You know what, though? What I've come to realize is that we all know random facts that nobody else knows.
Yes.
Within our circle, nobody else knows.
Absolutely.
I know the most random facts about automobiles that you're like, how do you even know that?
You're like Marissa Tomei
right?
and my cousin Vinny.
So
it's true.
It's like we all have our thing.
Crazy. Lisa Arsenault, my last comments to you. You tried some great recipes this weekend. We live not too far. Bring them over. I'm just saying. And with that, it is now 10 o'clock in the morning Eastern. Welcome to Brian and Carrie in the morning. We're live 5 mornings a week, Monday through Friday. You can set your watch. Set your day by the fact that we are going live at 10 a.m.
Yeah.
Actually, our pre-show starts at 9:50 Eastern. We suggest you get here for that because that's when all the fun happens. Today's show is all about invest to harvest, the very forgotten ingredient to achieving your goals. And you know we're going to earn this, so how about you put a share out right now? What are you laughing at?
Jeff Patton, because you're all serious and Jeff is like, I've done my TikTok in the biggest problem areas between 9:50 and 10:30. I've got to stop reading the comments when you're opening the show because I start laughing.
Yeah, look at that. Chris Goldowski is being Cliff Clavin right now because that's exactly Cliff's like. Well, you know they're nom. It's a little known fact.
I have to point out that Kelly was going to make the exact same reference that I made before I made it. She was typing it out as I was making the reference of you and
was she really?
Cliff, yeah.
Whatever. Chris and I are awesome. Don't hate. Not you, but the world.
I would never hate. I have learned... Okay, I know we're about to start the show.
Yes.
But I want to say something, okay? Like, you never recognize the amount of information you learn from people around you if you just have conversations. Because we play this game in our car. It's like Pop Quiz Hour where Brian asks questions and we all answer.
Right.
And you were on a political kick on Friday. And he's asking all these political questions. That's because politics is not my thing.
But Chase loves it.
7 years ago, I wouldn't have had the answers to. But I was like, boom, 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 boom.
Now she knows everything.
Almost everything.
Because she lived with me for too long.
I don't know what Tammany Hall is, so we have to go over that one.
We're going to watch a movie called Gangs from New York. You'll see what Tammany Hall is.
Okay.
There you are.
Let's go. Let's do this thing.
What is the little-known, missing, forgotten ingredient in achieving your goals? It's all about invest to harvest, okay? And we're going to break it down to you today 3 ways. That's a little bit what she said.
Break it down 3 ways? Yeah.
A little bit. I'll take a courtesy laugh if you're going to give it. Well, I was hoping from the crew.
Well, I know. I was just chiming in with them.
But you know what I forgot to do until just right now?
Do it.
Where my crew at?
Crew!
Yes! All right, now, as you know, in Let's Eliminate Your Limits, how to finally achieve the goals you set, our personal journal, which is probably the coolest, raddest, most effective personal journal on the planet, if for no other reason, it's got pictures of me and Carrie on the bottom of it. Branding, people. You got to brand yourself. I'm just saying. But in this journal, one of the 4 exercises that we want you to foundationalize in your life is called direction review. Mm-hmm. Where are you going? Okay? And this speaks directly to the invest to harvest phase. Last week, we made the point that there are 2 factors, 2 X factors to success that it's underappreciated. It's completely underappreciated. And Chris Goldowski, yes, this has to do with finance. But time and consistency are the 2 greatest X factors to success that nobody leaves room for. We want to lose weight, so we buy into the headlines that say lose 60 pounds in 6 weeks. Mm-hmm. We want to make money, so we buy into the headlines, like MLM corporations, and some of them are fine. I'm not here to talk about MLM, but we buy into the headlines that say, in 2 months you'll have your own sustainable business that is residual income for the rest of your life. Okay, 2 months, 8 weeks. We want to build a successful business. So we buy into the headlines that say, give me 4 weeks, you'll be making $20,000 a month. Okay, and that's whatever. What I'd like to say about that is stop buying into the fucking headlines, because all of it is crackerjack bullshit, completely. One of the things that we have to come to terms with regarding achieving your goals is that it's not sexy. It's not sexy. Matter of fact, I love what we have to say about it. This is the tried and tested method. These 4 exercises are the foundational necessities of achieving any goal you want, no matter what it is or how many times you've tried and failed. I think that speaks to people. Yeah. Because people try goals. 250 some odd Americans every year create New Year's resolutions. 8% achieve them. 92% don't. But come next November, they're making New Year's resolutions again.
So one's probably.
Right. So people can relate, man. We've tried. We've tried with all we think we have. We've tried every means possible. We have purchased 100 books on how to eat healthy. We have purchased 1,000 books on how to build a successful business. And none of it's really paid off yet. It's because we're not factoring in time and consistency as the 2 greatest success factors. That speaks to invest to harvest, which speaks to direction review. Okay, so let's recap. Yeah. What is direction review?
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to ask me to recap everything you just said.
Everything I just said. Go.
Say, wow.
It's a little known fact, Carrie.
Direction review.
Where is everybody? Yeah. I'm getting no hearts, no love.
Know. Give us some love. Everybody chime in.
Yes, hearts, loves, comments, all of it.
Yeah. So direction review is really simple. It's like the daily act of reviewing where you're going, right? So like it's one thing to have this goal that you set out and you kind of write down on paper,
right?
And you don't really ever come back to. You know in the back of your head, oh, I want to lose 50 pounds. But what are you doing every day in the process of keeping that top of your mind? And I want to say like sowing the oats, or sowing the
sowing the oats. That was hot.
Sowing the field so that you are preparing for the harvest, right?
It.
So you have to go back and you have to review every day so that you're able to gauge like, look, this is where I was, this is where I'm going, and what it's going to feel like when you get there, so that you're bringing in this feeling of, yes, you know what, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing.
And that's great. The recap is ideal. It's perfect. It's of course essential. I want to give my experience with working in the journal that we created myself with regards to direction review specifically, because Carrie said something that I think a lot of you relate to. And some of you might not, okay? So here's what Carrie said. It brings in the feeling. What's it going to feel like to achieve? Okay? You want to know something? I can't relate to that. And I'll tell you why. I might just go on a diatribe for a second. I probably will. But here's why I can't relate. We're not all from the same cosmetic and fabric.
Of course.
Okay? I'm not really a feeler. I'm a thinker. I intellectualize, I consider, I think. Okay, so when I do direction review every single day, I want to say it gives me the warm fuzzies. It gives me a feeling and an emotion of what it's going to be like to achieve that goal. But that's not the way my organism processes the world. I'm a thinker. So you know what direction review gives to me? It gives me intellectual reminders that I'm on course.
Right.
It gives me the brain matter, the activity in my brain to show me every single morning where I am, where I'm going, where I've come from, so I find perspective like that.
Yeah.
Because who can relate? Who can't relate? You're trying to lose weight, and you have a challenging week. You're trying to build a successful business, and something you were so excited putting out into the world just didn't seem to work. You are trying to gain financial freedom, and right when you are headlong into investing in stocks, the market takes a massive turn downward. Who can't relate to one or all of those?
Yeah.
Okay? But that's what direction review gives you. It gives you the focus intellectually and the feeling emotionally to stay on track.
Yeah.
If you examine what we said, invest to harvest is the same as time plus consistency.
Right.
If you are consistent with your efforts and you give it time, no matter what your goal is, you will succeed.
Right.
We get derailed every week, sometimes daily, sometimes by the hour. We get derailed on putting effort consistently forward because of circumstances or situations or bad language in our head or an unconscious story that kind of drives itself up. We get derailed on that consistent effort, and therefore the time stops.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that is why we aren't achieving our goals. So direction review, which is the mainstay of the 4 exercises in this book, just keeps us focused.
Absolutely.
And you can't put a price tag on that.
I mean, so true. And you just said a whole bunch of stuff that made me want to say a whole bunch of stuff. Big surprise. But first thing, shout out to Juan Barba Blanca, who's the first time with us on the show. So welcome Juan.
Welcome, Juan.
So I just wanted to go back to the whole invest to harvest.
Yes.
Because, the direction review is so essential in keeping us, I want to say keeping us satisfied during the investment phase, right? As before we harvest.
Okay, that was great. Well said.
And I want to say that, I think that if, everybody can relate to the, people might be trying to understand, okay, invest, harvest, let me put it in different terms for you for a second, right? We are a society that wants to harvest. We are a society that wants immediate gratification.
Yes.
Harvesting is the craving for harvest is the same as the desire for immediate gratification, right? So we all set these goals out for ourselves, and we expect the harvest to come right away.
Yes.
We expect that, we're going to set, a goal that we're going to, become debt free. And when we're not debt free within the first 2 weeks, we're unsatisfied, we're unfulfilled, we're frustrated,
we lose
right?
Focus, exactly.
But think about it. I mean, we're using these terms on purpose, right? Because we can all relate to it from the visual of it all, right? No farmer, and you can sit there right now and you're going to say, yes, well, of course, Carrie, but no farmer is going to plant a crop and expect that they're going to harvest it the next day.
Absolutely.
It just doesn't work that way,
Absolutely.
right? So your goals are the same as your crop. You've got to invest the time, the consistency, the direction review before you can harvest.
I'm going to keep going, but for 1 second, Carrie says my dad just joined to watch. Hello, Carrie's dad. Welcome to Brian and Carrie in
Carrie's
the morning.
got great hair. It's purple.
Right on. Dr. Ryan Wolfert. Totally understand what you're talking about, BG. My mind works very similar, and sometimes I feel like I'm doing it wrong because I don't feel it every time. Brilliant comment. I used to be the exact same way.
Yeah.
I would watch this little juggernaut of emotion every single morning, have this emotive response to this.
Right.
And I'd be like, God, am I doing this wrong?
Yeah.
No, I'm not much of a feeler, which I'm going to get to in 1 second even more. Karen Roberts, I just want you to check your own language, okay? Naysayers make it tough to stay consistent sometimes. At that point is when I have to review my direction to reinforce my progress. 2 things I want to say there, okay? Number 1, don't wait for the circumstance to turn shitty to review your direction.
Yeah.
This is an everyday thing, okay? So that's the first thing, but check your own language. Naysayers make it tough to stay consistent. No, they don't.
Who's making it tough to stay consistent?
You make it tough to stay consistent because nobody has the power to control you, your actions, your words, your thoughts outside of you.
Yeah.
So, Karen, that was not like a lecture. It was a reminder for all of us that watch our language.
Yeah.
Our language can sometimes dictate everything.
Absolutely. And I want to come back around to the thinking and feeling because I also wanted to add something on that.
Sure.
But the first thing I want to say is with regards to Karen's comment, is there is a reason that we speak so much about these 4 tools that are inside the Achieve Your Goals program. The reason is because they are your kryptonite against the naysayers, about the influence, against everything that's out there, right?
Yeah.
You have got to become your strongest source of foundation, irrelevant of what anybody's going to throw at you, right?
Let's take our life for the last month as a consideration, okay?
Sure.
We got home from Spain after hosting a beautiful retreat. Chris and Kelly Goldowski were there. Michelle Adams was there. We had just a beautiful time.
Yeah.
We got home on a Monday night. Tuesday morning, we woke up at our old house in Montreal, said, fuck it, let's move. So that day, we packed up our entire house, moved up here with our kids, unpacked everything, got settled. In that time frame, we had to go to both kids' schools to inform the administration they'd be transferring up here. Okay? In that time frame, I was almost motionless for about 4 days because I hurt my back. Carrie got a pretty significant cold. In that month, our kids went to school exactly 3 times because it was March break, then the school transfer wasn't successful yet, then the bus system fell apart. We had more circumstances against us in the last month than I think we've had against us in a long time. And yet this was the most productive 4 weeks we've had in a long time as well. And this is why.
Yeah,
okay?
absolutely.
So now let me just say, we'll get to the think and feel thing in 1 second.
Okay.
Let me just say this, okay? I like to take societal dogma and stick a thumbtack in it. Okay, and here's why. You don't have to be a sports fan, because I'm really not a sports fan, to know the metaphors. Take it one shift at a time. All we can focus on is this game. You hear it every year in football, basketball, hockey, baseball, rugby, and every other sport, where the coaches, the players are talking about the only thing that matters right now is this shift. The only thing that matters right now is this at bat. The only thing that matters right now is this free throw. Right? So you take the entire season, you've got 15 games left, you're 2 points out of a playoff spot, all 15 games matter, you're watching the clock because the team who you're trying to compete against for the final playoff spot, they're winning. That's a lot to factor in. But every coach and every great athlete says the same thing. Look, the only thing that matters is the ball in your hand right now. Okay? But that's our point. That's exactly our point. Carrie said it perfectly before, that we want the harvest now. We want the fulfillment of the win, the achievement now. We want to become, achieve, and do now. But now is never going to happen.
Right.
Because we have to invest in order to harvest. What Direction Review gives you, what it gives me intellectually and Carrie emotionally, is a living, breathing fulfillment of the moment.
Right.
I feel fulfilled in what I accomplished yesterday. I feel fulfilled in noting what I have to accomplish today in order to eventually harvest the long-term goal. That's my fulfillment.
Right.
And when you switch your focus from fulfillment of goal to fulfillment of task of the day,
Yeah.
you win.
Of
and
course.
you achieve what you want.
Right?
Yes.
Yes.
Can I get a hell yes from the crew?
Yes. Everybody chime in
Where
on that
my
one.
crew at?
Crew. Okay, now, so I want to say, I want to go into this thinking and feeling thing, but before I do, I would like everybody, so like if you are watching right now, and you have not chimed in yet, I want to get as a big of a comparison of all of you as possible, like not a comparison, but like an example.
Yeah, I want to hear everybody.
If you identify as a thinker, I want you to type thinker. If you identify yourself as a feeler, I want you to type feeler, okay?
If you identify yourself as both.
As both, you can put
Type
both,
both,
okay? So I wanted to come back to this thinking and feeling thing, and you know, it's one of those things that Brian and I, years ago, do you remember years ago when you tried to make me a thinker and I tried to make you a feeler?
Of course.
But it wasn't, sorry, I just got like, it wasn't like purposeful of like, you have to change and be my way. It was that I knew how to do everything as a feeler.
Yep.
And you knew how to do things as a thinker. And so we naturally try to pull people in to doing it the way that we relate to, not as a way of change, but it's because it's what we know, right?
Yep.
So, you know, we are all different. Some of us feel very deeply. Some of us think very deeply. Some of us do both of them. I mean, I venture that we all do both, but there's one of them that we're all predisposed to, I believe. Now, the point that I want to make about that whole thing is that this journal, this program, like I didn't even put two and two together until Ryan brought it up. It really is a mix of everything you need for both. Thinker and feeler, because it's a creation of what you and I have both gone through.
Yes.
The things that worked best for you and the things that worked best for me bled into one place.
And
right?
that we feel tested for the last 15 years on athletes,
Absolutely.
entrepreneurs, stay-at-home dads, and everybody else. Can I just make one point?
Of course.
A lot of comments. So we have here thinker, feeler who overthinks things. People are talking about both, okay? You guys ready? Everybody's both.
Yeah.
But you're dominant in one.
Yeah.
And that's the one we want you to ascertain.
Yeah.
Okay? I think before I feel. Everybody, and there's been several who have written a feeler who overthinks.
Yeah.
Well, then you're a thinker.
Yeah.
Okay? If you recognize that you overthink, you're a thinker.
Yeah.
Okay?
Absolutely.
So we are dominant in either feeling or thinking. We are all mixed bags of both.
Yep.
Where does your dominance go?
Yeah.
When I get into a quote-unquote bad spot, bound nature place, negative space, I am thinking about things in the future to be worried about. When Carrie gets into a bad place, a bound nature spot, etc., she is emoting things like anxiousness, fear, etc.
Yeah.
My thoughts create my feelings. Carrie's feelings create her thoughts.
Right.
Does that help? Because it should.
I love this topic in particular.
Yes.
You know, I was gonna use the exact same example. If you don't know, and Angie Olsen, I just have to chime in that I'm glad you came back around with that you're a feeler, because you are definitely a feeler, and I love that about you. But I think that
Carol Wood, by the way, you're definitely a thinker. You don't have to think you're a thinker.
Well,
I've known you for years. You're a thinker.
You know, that's
no
one
question.
of those things that, like, if you know, and for me, I want to tell you what this process has given me, okay? Because as a feeler, what this process has given me is actually the ability to learn how to think through some of my most emotive experiences. Like some where I'm like riddled with negative emotion, I've actually used thought as a way to stabilize myself and pull myself out of that negativity, okay?
Absolutely.
That's number one. But the second thing that I was going to say is that, you know, going through this process has allowed me to relate to you better.
Yes.
Has allowed me to just like deepen my experiences of who I am. And then I've taken that emotional energy that was a negative emotion, and I use it as a positive now.
Right. That's energy flow.
There
I
you
love
go.
how we're on the same page. Just
Always.
a couple of things. Because we know some of you very well. Michelle Lee, I would wager you're a feeler more than you are a thinker.
Hands down.
And Lynette Macy's, you're definitely a thinker. There's no question. Let me just put that to you guys right there. Because we've known you guys for a long time. We've worked with you both. To capitalize on something Carrie just said, or to continue it at least, we have to hold in context something, right? Thoughts aren't real. Emotions aren't real. They are byproducts of stimulus coming into us from the outside world, be it people, situations, circumstances, etc., things that trigger a memory, etc. And all of that stimulus filters through our biased lens, which is in the unconscious, right? And that's what catalyzes our thoughts and emotions. But they're not real. They are predictable. When you understand bound nature, which we've taught on this show, you understand how to isolate yours. The key is this: do not waste any effort, attention, or time trying to stop it. We're not stopping the emotions. We're not stopping the thoughts. We are transitioning them. If they're not real, they're just energy. And it's energy running amok the wrong direction. Flip the switch and let it go the other way.
Yeah.
Because all energy is intensity.
Yep.
So if I'm intensely afraid, I can learn how to channel that fear into gratitude, into optimism, into excitement. We call it flipping it. Flip the story, flip the energy, flip the thought, flip the feeling.
Right.
It really is simple when you practice it, and it speaks to direction review. So I'm going to pick this up again. That's what this book is for. It gives you something that nobody else has ever given you before. It gives you the something that we all need. And I want you to just take a moment, grab a pen, or commit what I'm about to say to memory. It gives you complete power and control over your thoughts and emotions. Something you didn't think you had control of. That's the key. The consistency of the 4 exercises in this journal under the suspension of time work. Every time, unconditionally, and that's how you achieve your goals.
Absolutely.
I am so on fire today.
Right, and I'm going to add.
Woo!
Surprise! I'm going to add.
Right.
So I want to add that I'm just thinking about the harvest. And I think that, you know, we've talked about this before, where we reference the fact that, you know, your goals, you know, we talked last week about why your goals should, you know, be framed as inspiration statements and intentions, because there really isn't an end point, right? It's a continuum that we're continually evolving and ascending. And that's one of the things that I love thinking about when we look at the invest to harvest, right? Every farmer hopes and aims for a better crop next year than they had this year.
Sure.
Right? So we should continually be harvesting. Don't seek to harvest one time. Seek to harvest time and time and time and time again, because you are now on the ladder of life when you do that.
That was gorgeous and 100% true. There should be no neutrality. There should be no maintenance. That topic came up over the
This
weekend. What do you guys do for maintenance training? Well, we don't. We're either getting better or we're not.
Yeah.
That's it. We don't maintain. I don't maintain anything. Status quo? No, I'm not a status quo guy. Every day I get a little better. That's my job. In all aspects of life, I get a little better. Some days that's appreciably more than other days, and sometimes it's more focused towards certain parts of my life than others.
Yeah.
But every day, the job is to get a little bit better.
Yeah.
And when you review your direction, count your wins, imagine your outcome, and learn your language, that's exactly how you get a little better every day.
Absolutely. You know, and I just want to come back around to that maintenance topic because it was actually a moment for me, and I didn't share this publicly. I shared it inside of a group of women I run. But someone asked me this question this weekend when we were talking about my physical culture, my growth phase, my cut phase. They asked me, you know, what would you do if you wanted to just maintain where you were? And the question actually threw me off for a second because 5 years ago I would have had the answer to that.
Sure.
5 years ago, 6 years ago, I think I was looking for a maintenance phase. But I came home and I said to Brian, I was like, you know why it threw me off is because I realized, like what Brian just said, is that I'm not aiming for maintenance in anything in my life anymore.
Right.
So think about that. What areas in your life right now do you have these goals set out for that are about getting to a point that you can just maintain?
Right.
Why not blow past that and seek more?
100%.
You know?
Well, and let me speak to that, okay? Because it's very funny the way the timing on this all worked out. By the way, you guys still with us?
Who's with us?
Are you loving this today? Have we earned the share yet? If so, give us a share now. We earned it. Oh my God, we've earned it.
Yes, we have.
I'm going to mic drop myself on that one.
Boom.
All right, so let me say this, okay? Social proof is a motherfucker. There you go. I'm done. No, I'm just joking. I got a great private message over the weekend from a routine watcher of Brian and Carrie in the morning, okay? And she's not giving me permission to say these things, so I'm not going to give her her name. But for a living, as a professional, she is a paranormal researcher, okay? And I think that's cool. I think it scares the living shit out of me to think about investigating paranormal activity.
Talking about ghosts again.
Fuck, right? Grow. I got the willies. But here's the thing. She said, and there was a beautiful question. She said, Brian, I don't know if this is bad language, but I'm a paranormal researcher and I don't know any paranormal researchers who are really wealthy. But I'm fulfilled with my job. I love what I do. I just don't think I'll ever get wealthy doing it. Is that bad language? Great question, okay? And here's the honest answer. Look at, number one, we're not here to tell you what you should want for your life. If having loads of money is what you want, then go out and make loads of money. If having six-pack abs is what you want, well, then go and achieve it. If none of those things are what you want, well, then you need to know what you want, okay? But don't ever hide behind the smoke screen, or a better way of saying it, the bullshit veil of saying, I don't want those things because of this. Because the because is bullshit.
Right.
The because is I don't have the genetics to have a six-pack ab. Because I don't want to make a lot of money because people who make a lot of money are greedy.
Right.
And I don't want to turn into a greedy person. The because is bullshit. Okay? Do not use social proof or confirmational bias on social proof to limit you in what you are capable of.
Absolutely.
Okay, so what is social proof? I don't know any paranormal researchers who make a lot of money. Doesn't mean it's not possible.
Right.
It means you happen not to know any. Do we give you a business plan? Write a book. Find out the engineering and marketing ways to make that book a New York Times bestseller.
Right.
And then travel around the world doing seminars on paranormal research and how people who are interested in it can conduct their own research in their own homes. I just made you $1 million right there. That's a business model that would succeed. I'm telling you it would. So don't use no other paranormal researcher makes money, so therefore I can't. That because is slippery. Okay? I don't want to make a lot of money because rich people are greedy. I look at Donald Trump and I look at other people like Donald Trump and I think these are bombastic and egocentric and very delusional, greedy people who rip people off. All right, you know who's also wealthy? Oprah. I'm going to have a really tough time trying to find something wrong with Oprah right now.
Right.
She's magnanimous. She's lovely. She's charitable. She gives. She loves people. So, I mean, that would be confirmational bias on social proof. You're looking at the wrong people. Did that all make sense? We limit ourselves too much. We limit ourselves based on what we accept as the because factor for what we can or can't have, achieve, or do. Why did I say all that? Because this undoes it. When you review your direction, when you learn your language, when you imagine your outcome, you count your wins, you stay on track. You allow consistency and time to do their job. You invest in order to harvest, and you start to listen properly to the bullshit veil you're putting over yourself. Can I get a hell yeah on that one? Are y'all picking up what I'm laying down? Do you see yourselves anywhere in that? Give me some feedback, y'all, please.
You know, I want to say, like, my summary to everything you just said would be when you conclude, you stop seeking. When you make conclusions about anything in your life, good, bad, or otherwise, you stop seeking the potential of what's out there.
Right, and so I'm going to do for Michelle Chapman-Smith.
I was going to do that
and everybody else who's watching exactly what I did to Karen Roberts before. Guys, learn your language. It's in here. Michelle says, I'd actually like to get to a state of maintenance with some things in my life so that I can take a breather. Okay, but what you're saying then is that shit's hard. That it's arduous and task-oriented. And oh my God, I can't keep trying to get better at this. I'm so tired.
Yeah.
That language, of course it feels like you need a breather.
Right.
But, I mean, guys, learn your language.
Sure.
The more awareness we bring to what we're saying and thinking, the more we realize we're covering ourselves in big piles of dung.
Yeah, you know,
right? Like, think about that.
I'm glad that you pulled on that comment, because I was going to address it as well to Michelle.
Sure.
And to anybody else who's walking around with that language, because let's face it, we all do at some point in time, or have, right? Walk around with that language.
Of course, that's why we learn our language.
One of the comments that I was going to make to Michelle was that, you know, I can relate to that, because years ago, it did feel like I needed a breather.
Yes.
Like, I'm just going to be able to relax when. I'm just going to be able to be, you know, calm and peaceful when.
Yeah.
But what I found was that going through the process of these 4 things every single day, this process made it that life felt easier.
Right.
Because yes, I'm learning my language, and yes, I'm calling attention to all that, you know, the negative stuff that's coming in. But the process of the other 4, of imagining your outcome, of counting your wins, there is an ease that starts to come into
simplicity.
life. You know, because, you know, if you take our last month, and you just outlined it before with all of the things, we could be sitting here right now saying as well, you know what, man, I just can't wait for the kids to go back to school so we can breathe again.
But nothing felt hard.
That's not because we're mystical and magic. That's because we do the work.
It's because we do our work every day.
Exactly.
The hardest thing to understand, guys, is just how easy it all really is. No shit. Now, Carrie said she can relate to Michelle's language. I can relate to Michelle's language. Are you kidding? I used to cover myself in veils like that all the time. But I want to tell you something. The number of... I don't want to speak for you, Carrie, because I don't know. The number of private messages I get from friends and colleagues, clients, who start with this: hey, Brian, I know you're uber busy, but...
all the time.
What makes people think I'm uber busy? Well, I mean, I know why they think that. Because we run Brian and Carrie in the morning, so we're visible here.
Yeah.
Then we'll do a live stream later on this afternoon on your profile, so we're visible there. Then we'll take pictures of us, like, training at the gym, training hard, so we're visible there. You know, we'll post some stuff, so we're writing, and we're coming out with awesome journals. People are like, man, these guys must be... The perception.
Yeah.
But is that social proof that we're busy? Confirmational bias and social... Anybody want to wager? Right now, I want your answers. How many hours a day do Carrie and I work? Okay? And by the way, what we're doing right now, Brian and Carrie in the morning, is part of our work.
Right.
So we're going to count this hour. And you agree? Or is that too much?
I think that's too much.
Done.
Before, yeah.
Like that.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're agreed. I just wrote it down. How many hours a day do Carrie and I work? I want your answers. All right. I want your answers. I'm excited.
Michelle, I'm going to come back around to what
Michelle,
you said.
I'm coming back to you as well.
Michelle, if you could just chime in. I'm going to ask this because I want to ask, do you mind if I use your example as like an on-the-air coaching experience? Because I'm about to do an on-the-air coaching experience.
But we would never, like, put you on the spot.
No.
It's not who we are.
So if Michelle, if that's okay, let us know.
So we've got Sashley says 5, Aaron Johnson 4 to 6, Brian Sakowitz 5, Joe Staffelhuker 4 to 6, Lisa Oshna 4, 6, 3 to 5, 6, 3 to 4, 2 to 3, 4 to 5. Well, Chris Goldowski, I think it's him and I share a brain.
Right.
Actually nailed it. We work on average about 3 to 4 hours a day.
Yeah.
So when I get 15 messages a week from colleagues, friends, and clients saying, hey, Brian, I know you're really busy, but I'm actually not that busy.
Yeah.
Because for us, life is very easy. It's a very simple process. Nothing feels hard, et cetera, et cetera. And why is that true? Because we achieve our goals easier and with less complexity than anybody I know.
Yeah.
Financial, fitness, marital, relational, parenting, you name the goal, we achieve it with more ease and less complexity than anybody I know. And it's not because we're better goal setters than you. It's because of these 4 exercises in this journal.
Right. Michelle gave me permission. So don't move that screen yet.
Sure.
Michelle, so thank you for permission. So
yes.
The first thing I want to say is, Michelle chimed in. She said, I didn't mean it like that. I mean so that I can spend more time traveling with my family. I love working hard. I just like to switch my focus, okay? The first thing I want to say with regards to that is that the number of times, and Michelle, like, I've done this, Brian's done it, anybody who's coached with us has done this, where they have said something, and then the language, we call them on the language, and then the response is, I didn't mean it like that, okay? This is a big, like, what am I going to say? This is like a big secret to start to be aware of. If you're challenging us, I don't think you're challenging us like negatively, but you're saying, I didn't mean it like that. Yes, but your language still came out that way.
Yeah.
Your unconscious is still saying, like, that was your unconscious there coming out, where you're just writing, kind of not really thinking about maybe what was coming up. That's the layer of your unconscious coming out that's saying, you know what, I just really would like a breather so I could right? So I urge you to explore that a little bit deeper. And then the second thing that I want to say to where you're sitting right now is, you know, there's an essence of what you said where you're waiting for A to happen before you can do B. Right? More people need to open their eyes and recognize that you can have elements of A, B, and C in your life if you're actually more focused, more organized, and minding them every single day. Because I bet you could travel more. You could spend more time with your family now if you brought it into the focus.
And I think one of the reasons we know that, Michelle, is because that was us. You were us
Completely.
7 years ago.
The number of times
we
said
were
to
on
me,
a 13-year plan. When Maya turns 18, we'll be able to take our noses out of our hard work and finally travel as a family. Yeah, except for we got our heads out of our asses and realized we can do that now and have been for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
So it's something we want. We love the on-the-fly coaching like this.
Yeah,
because it gives resonance for all of us to consider.
Yeah.
Okay. Lisa Arsenault, comment of the day, when we talked about that we work 3 to 4 hours a day, she wrote organized consistency.
Ain't that the truth?
Exactly.
Yeah.
We are consistent every single day because we are organized every single day. We maximize the output of the work we do because we're prepared to do it. And we are mentally in place to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Killer stuff. Woo! Awesome stuff. Guys, listen carefully. AchieveTheGoalsYouSet.com. You have until this Friday, which is March 27th, to get your hands on this entire program, the journal, the daily reader, all the videos, the special bonuses like the Art of Silence 3 meditation track. We're just giving you like thousands of dollars worth of shit. Right? But if you get your hands on this Let's Eliminate Your Limits, How to Finally Achieve the Goals You Set program before or on Friday, March 27th, you get a 4-week coaching program with us for no charge.
Yes.
AchieveTheGoalsYouSet.com. Go there. Quickly. Before Friday.
2 things. Number 1, it is actually Monday, March 27th. But that, just because someone's going to go, March 27th is not Friday. So just so you know, March 27th is the date you have to know. That's number 1.
When is March 27th?
It's Monday, March 27th.
By Monday.
There you go. Number 2, I want to tell you guys, in case you're wondering what it looks like, because what just happened with Michelle is exactly what coaching is like, right? You get to come with your questions, the things that are going on in your mind, say, you know, this is what kind is going on. Can you help me with this? And this is what we do. We help shine the light, help direct, help navigate your ship. It's so fun.
Absolutely. Michelle, my last comment to you, A gets me to B. No, it doesn't. You just think it does. That's the perspective you have right now, and we perfectly understand that we were there 7 years ago as well, and we're probably not going to be able to teach you or show you how A gets me to B is actually completely inaccurate.
Right.
That's your perspective. That is not absolute truth. We thought it was absolute truth 7 years ago.
Of course.
We were very wrong. But that's the last thing I'll say about that. Brian Sakowitz is jacked for the coaching.
Yes.
You're giving everyone the keys to their life. I appreciate that, brother.
We were just talking about keys.
We were just talking about keys.
Literally, we're like...
Which probably makes no sense to any of you right now.
Okay.
But it was a kind of a kitschy little thing we're thinking about doing.
It will in time.
How do you not want this journal?
Right?
It's got pictures of Carrie Campbell on it.
It's such a goof.
Carrie Campbell flexing. How do you not want that?
Oh.
AchieveTheGoalsYouSet.com. Woo!
I love that Michelle Chapman, she's just with us. She's like, you know what? I understand what you're saying. Kudos to you for receiving.
I agree.
Beautiful.
You're wonderful. I love what she said there. That's how I grew up. You know what? We talk about this a great deal in our mentor method. Influence is the number one factor that creates your perspective, my perspective, Carrie's, everybody's perspective. What is influence? Primarily environmental, i.e. your family when you were young. Social, the social network, socioeconomic you were raised into, and geographic. And I know that one sounds funny, but people who live in China or North Korea see the world very differently than we do here in Canada or the United States. Yeah. So, and by the way, it's not just like communist capitalists. Like, I'm thinking about Norway. There's an actual law in Norway. I don't think it's enforced necessarily, but it's actually on the books. And I can't pronounce it because it's, in Norwegian. But it basically says that you are no better than anybody else who lives near you or with you. And your job in life is to essentially fit in, is to contribute to the beauty of our country by not making a fool of yourself and trying to stand out.
Right.
Okay? So you don't think that as a child being reared into that rhetoric affects what you see as your potential? You're crazy.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So yes, Michelle, you're spot on. The way we're raised matters.
Yeah.
One, can't find the website, but look, Carrie Campbell just put it in there. AchieveTheGoalsYouSet.com. That should be a hot link, Juan, that you just click on it.
Yes, and if not, Juan, just pop us a message.
Oh, look at that. Ann Shivis, who has her own copy of this journal, says the journal is a great way to organize yourself, loving it.
Yeah. I've actually received a lot of messages from people on that topic.
This journal, Tommy Gallant,
yep. Brian Sakowitz,
Montefinesse,
yep.
the Goldowskis.
Yep.
God, the list goes on of people who are using this right now and loving the living crap out of it.
Beautiful.
I want to see Lisa Arsenault's win.
She's got People Pleasing Almost Killed Me and Mindset Matters Most on the way.
Nice.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Nice.
Nice win.
You guys are fantastical.
Great.
Love it.
Have we said thank you yet?
You know what? Thank you. And I want to add.
Thank you, Juan.
I want to add. By the way, I took a note. The first note. I took this note at the beginning of our show today. I don't know if you could see that.
It's so awesome.
But it literally.
See if it comes up.
It says. I love my life. Because as we were settling into the show this morning, I was like, man, you know what? I love my life. This is the best way to spend the morning.
Isn't it?
And the second thing I want to say is I love that you guys every day have a conversation with us because we start on a topic, but then somebody asks a question that we choose to address.
Yeah.
And we get to address it and we get to have this ongoing conversation, which is just so powerful for me.
Absolutely, guys. Well, mad love to you all. Have a beautiful Monday. Come back tomorrow, 9:50 a.m. Juan. I hope to see you back again tomorrow.
Yeah.
9:50 a.m. Eastern for more Brian and Carrie in the morning. Where my crew at?
Crew!